Hiya, my name is Sean O'Rourke and I'd like to tell you about a Cannonball moment that struck when I was about 16 years old. I remember my dad at the time, he came home and said, the preacher at Mass that day, his message was that the whole gospel could be summed up in just 5 words. You did it to me. You did it to me. It was about a month or so later that I went with a school project. We were asked to go into a homeless shelter and a drop-in centre where there was a Jesuit priest working with the poor. And his idea was for us to sit down and have conversations and cups of tea and just to break bread together with some of his clients. And the first man, he told us his story where when he was 16, he was 35 at this stage, but when he was 16 and the same age as we were, he had been kicked out of the house and he was told he wasn't welcome at home anymore. And he suddenly had to rob and steal for food and for clothes, and just to survive, he was in a fight to stay alive. And over the next while, it wasn't long until he started taking drugs because he felt an immense pain and the drugs gave him a relief from that pain. And I remember listening and there was a huge amount of love just drawn out from me, and I couldn't really help but see myself in this guy's shoes. Because I knew that if it had been me, I wouldn't have done anything any differently, and I couldn't judge him. So how did I see Christ anew? I think I saw the crucified Christ and the suffering and the broken Christ in this man who was broken and suffering in front of me. And I felt the love being drawn out of me, and I wanted to do something, and I was kind of called, and I wanted to make a change in some way and to just help and listen. And I think I was immensely grateful suddenly for all the things I've been given. And I felt there's a sense of, there go I, but for the grace of God. And for me, that's really what Ignatian spirituality is all about and has taught me. I think it's about identifying Christ in each person, and most especially the poor. It's about being aware of Christ's presence in all things and in all times and places, that each thing, each person can be a way to God, and we can meet God in the everyday world. It's also about recognizing and being grateful for those moments and noticing the gifts that God gives us, and then striving to seek and to give those back to God's children, most especially the broken, most especially the poor. And so knowing that the best thing probably that I could suddenly do when passing someone homeless was just to look at them, greet them, and actually see them as a human being. That was totally transformative, that conversation with Mark when I was 16. I suddenly saw, wait, Christ is waiting for us on the roadside. Christ is waiting for us to share. Christ is waiting for us to gather and to meet. He's not just in a tabernacle. He's here. He's waiting for you, and he's waiting for me. So thank you so much for hearing my story.